Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And ish.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. And as well, if you are on our Facebook page, go ahead and hit us with a like button on Facebook. And as well, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and check us out on YouTube at our YouTube channel, X Talking Ish. As well, hit that red subscribe button, and as well, hit that notification bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future. And as always, you can check us out on Periscope, on Twitter at X Talking Ish, and as well on my personal page at X underscore Williams81. And I went ahead and retweeted the show. So if you are on Twitter, there's no excuses why you cannot check out this show every Tuesday on your social media feeds. Of course, our boy Fracture One joins us every Tuesday as always. We appreciate him for the dedicated views. He says another Tuesdays amongst us. No better way to end a great week of football by tuning in to, of course, X Talking Ish. And we appreciate that as always. This week, of course, want to bring in a very special guest. He's special to us. He is of course, a recurring guest, but even though he's been on plenty of times, he's still a very special guest in our eyes because he doesn't have to be on the show, but he definitely accepts our invite, and we appreciate him as always. A fan favorite, our favorite, and one of Iowa's finest, Mr. Casey McKinney. How are you doing tonight?
Oh man, it's going good. I appreciate you guys having me on. Anytime, every time. I'll make it work. We had to start our podcast about an hour early so I can make the show, but those guys can get over it. I appreciate you having me on. Anytime you guys need me around, I'd love to come on and talk some football with you guys.
Now, first thing first, before we do talk about some football, KC,
Okay.
I'm gonna need you to hype yourself up just a tad when it comes to the beer making and what you're able to do out there in those neck of the woods.
Dude,
when it comes to earning those beautiful awards, I see you out there.
We got lots of
micro
medals.
brews.
We're having a lot of fun. It's a hobby that I picked up during COVID with my father-in-law. We got some stuff up here. It's around. He tried to get me to bring the medals to have in the background tonight, but I didn't want to be responsible for all that. Actually, yeah, Saturday morning we find out if we win a Pro-Am contest for Great American Beer Fest. That's in Denver. I was actually supposed to be in Denver this weekend, but schedules didn't work out and how it all went down. It's fun time. We make good beer. If you're at a Chiefs tailgate and we happen to be there, we'll share it with you. X knows all about that. It's fun. We enjoy making some beer and having a good time. Yeah, Cody was over with us Sunday night watching the Chiefs-Bucks game. So
as y'all can see, it is a confirmed
we got
kill,
him. We
as
got
they
him
would
good
say
buzzed.
on a Call of Duty. It is so good I can't confirm. So I will confirm as well too. I've had plenty of the delicious homebrew beer from Mr. Casey.
It's a good time. It's fun. And, we make it. Chiefs are playing. We're making beer. It's a good time.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong, especially at a tailgate. And again, before we hopped in there, I just wanted to definitely give a shout out for that one because that is. I don't think people really understand the art making amongst making a delicious brew.
No, it's a good time.
All right. So, again, before we talk about the Sunday slate and as well Monday Night Football, let's just circle it back all the way back to Thursday Night Football right quick because, of course, we talk all on sports talk from Friday and, of course, even on a Tuesday night, it's still been about Tua Tagovailoa and his head injury and the aftermath of all of that. I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about that with my panel. And, of course, everybody that's tuning in tonight, more welcome to drop your comments in. We'll definitely address them while we speak amongst the show. But I just want to have everybody be able to have the stage to speak their truths and their experiences as well regarding concussions, because concussions, I know it sounds crazy to people, but you can also get a concussion playing other sports and also just daily activities, being a regular human being. So you don't have to be a NFL football player to sustain a concussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a couple minutes out of this show and just speak a little more about concussion in the sport life and also in civilian life as well. So, Ish, I'll go ahead and start it off with you, and we'll go ahead and circle around the table.
Yeah, just a very scary scene to witness. It was a lot going on there. Immediately once it happened, I think I called you and I just told you like, bruh, I don't know what was going on with the Miami Dolphins, but if you're anyone in Tua's camp, I'm probably suing the hell out the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, whoever and whatnot. And as soon as I said that, it was funny because my wife looked at me and she goes, with this league, they're going to find somebody to scapegoat. And sure enough, we have already found the first scapegoat. We got a scapegoat that we already apparently got fired, is no longer in a job. And I don't know how we're somehow all supposed to buy that this one person didn't they did a couple things wrong. Is that what the report was saying again? That there were a couple mistakes that they made. This one person.
That's what was told. Apparently, there were several mistakes that were, I guess, not caught.
This one person made several mistakes.
That's what was in the report. And let's be real, if we know anything about, I wouldn't say America, I would just say how big businesses ran. When it comes to having any big business, if you have a little bit more money than a little person, it's a lot easier to be able to put up or to write up some type of paperwork that make you look like the bad guy. So again, like you said, Ish, it was a scapegoat type of situation. Somebody's head was going to have to roll. It wasn't going to be Coach McDaniel. He was not going to get fired. I mean, let's be real. He's not going to get fired within the season.
Speaking of which, so I have had a concussion before. I've had multiple, actually. I've had, I believe, 3 confirmed concussions, possibly a 4th one. But in my most recent concussion, which was all the way back in high school, I know for a fact that you are not supposed to watch TV or be on your cell phone or do anything of that sort of nature when you have a concussion. And I would expect, especially after what we witnessed, I mean, a couple times because the NFL decided they want to just play it over and over again. My man came out and said that Tua sat next to me and we were watching a movie on the plane. The man that just had a severe concussion, y'all are watching movies together? Like what?
And the fact that he felt okay. The plane part. Dude's on a plane. He's not supposed to be on a plane either.
Yeah, and that's something my wife and I talked about as well too. I really didn't put 2 and 2 together until the morning after when I told my wife, I said, why was he on a plane on the way back from after this scary hit?
The Dolphins crazy,
you need to bus him back to Miami.
The Dolphins crazy
on a dark bus throughout the nighttime. Like literally, just that's the only way. I mean, for a business like the Miami Dolphins that is literally worth billions of dollars, it's very disappointing how reckless they handled this situation. KC, you want to go ahead and?
I mean, I can't speak to having a concussion. I've been lucky enough to have never been diagnosed with that. I grew up playing a lot of baseball when I was younger, so not a lot of big contact. I mean, it can still happen there, obviously, for sure. Never diagnosed with anything there, but man, just this whole situation was so fumbled from the start, and that's my main takeaway from this. You go back to the Sunday game with Baltimore. These guys are trained to pass these tests. And I know nobody wants to say that out loud, and they know what's happening. They know how to sort of get through these things, and all these guys want to get back out on the field. They're gamers, and I respect that to an extent, but the league's got to be good enough to take their just sort of take it away from them and say, no, we know what's better for you in this moment. And yeah, they would have taken probably a lot of crap. I mean, I don't buy the back injury thing at all, dude. I'm old. I got a bad back. I've got up and tweaked my back. That's not how you wander around after you've messed up your back. He was definitely woozy. He shouldn't have played that game. But the NFL, there's also that part, I think, that the NFL knew that if he was ruled out of that game on Sunday, there's no world he was cleared to play Thursday, and that hurts their bottom line. Call me cynical, but I think that's part of it. There's no world that on a short week, if he gets ruled out of that game on Sunday, he comes back in and starts on Thursday. And the NFL wants that revenue on Thursday. Amazon wants that revenue on Thursday. And now they you see that replay of him with his hands, and you can't, dude. Can I
piggyback? Can I piggyback
Sure.
on that and just say, to that point of you can't rule him out on Sunday because there's no way he's going to be ruled available to play on Thursday. Let me just also say all the reports after the Sunday game forced you to make him active for Thursday. There's no way you could come out on Thursday and make him inactive without saying we lied. He had a concussion on Sunday, right? So like all of the events that led up to Thursday and what happened on that field, when you look at it, like the league pretty much put the team in this situation of, well, he has to be active Thursday. And then even if you come back and you say, well, we feel like it's not safe for him to play as a team, there's no way the league is allowing the team to make him inactive for the Thursday game, because then they have to answer questions of, well, how did he get back in on Sunday?
Well, and then I think an even worse look is after that Thursday game, McDaniel's coming out and saying that their number one focus is his health, and it's not. It's like no, I'm not buying it, dude.
No, it's not.
We just watched you do the opposite of that coming into this week. You may have put this kid's career in jeopardy because your team's won a couple games and looks good and is probably going to go to a wild card game and like lose. Like that's where we're at with this Miami Dolphins team. And everyone thinks the world of them. I don't know, man. Like, some things are more important. And, some players understand that. We've watched lots of NFL players leave the game, leave a lot of money on the table because they thought their health was more important. I'm a big pro wrestling guy. We've watched a lot of guys in that world do some crazy stuff. Concussions and head trauma, they're real things. And the NFL likes to pretend like they're taking it seriously, and they are absolutely not. And, if they wanted to take it seriously, we talked about that on my podcast tonight. Thursday night games are the worst possible thing for this league and for player safety. There's no reason they should be playing them other than revenue. It's just the NFL likes to pretend, we care about concussions. We care about player safety. Here's an extra game. Here's an extra wild card game. Here's an extra playoff team. You guys don't care. You care more about the money than anything else, and let's not lie about it. That's all there is to it.
So let me get to the comments right quick, and I'm definitely going to piggyback off of what you said, KC, and then I'll point out two big points that I wanted to discuss, and we'll wrap this up. Comment from Fracture Wanda. He says Cards doctor need to be questioned also for letting, I'm pretty sure he said JJ play after his heart thing. Now, JJ Watt actually, of course, came out first on Twitter and broke his own news before anybody else broke his news regarding the heart murmur situation. Again, it's very scary situation when he says, "Hey, they needed my heart back, to be shocked back into rhythm again." I know that sounds very scary, but when it comes to JJ, I mean, let's be real. Who's going to? I mean, is he going to let anybody tell him no to play? I mean, he's literally on his last leg, and I think he knows. We all know this is probably going to be his last season. And JJ probably willing to die on the field. I mean, let's just be real. I think that's who JJ Watt is, and that's here nor there. But we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. And another great comment from Jared. I definitely remember, of course, this situation. He speaks about how about McDaniel shows some leadership and forces Tua to sit. Mike Tomlin forces Ryan Clark to sit out. He's speaking of the playoff game in Denver due to his sickle cell disease. Even though the doctors cleared him, he put safety first. Also saved the player from himself. And, of course, if Ryan Clark was to pass away due to the altitude out there in Denver, then he wouldn't be able to have his podcast, The Pivot. He wouldn't be able to be on ESPN. So I completely understand where Jared is coming from. Again, I'm just going to piggyback off of all of that as well. Fracture One also says, I know JJ loves the game, but he has a baby on the way and he needs to think about being there for his little one. You're not wrong at all on that one. Again, just to talk on my little 2 points right quick. First things first. I do agree wholeheartedly on what Casey speaks of when it comes to the NFL not taking concussions as seriously as they need to. I do agree on that, but I will say we will have to applaud them just a little bit because of at least over the last 15 years, they have made tremendous safety strides within the equipment itself. Because let's be real, if this was 15 years ago using a Rydell helmet that Ish and I used to have and thought that it was the greatest helmet in high school at the time, we might have seen a dead body on Thursday night. And that would have been very unfortunate for all parties involved. And with the player safety that has been pushed by players, current and former, I think with the safety involved in the helmets, because if Tua was banged up and if he did have obviously structural damage to his head, he wouldn't have been cleared from the hospital. But for him not to have any structural damage and because of the force of how he was flung, it definitely looked like he was. He honestly looked like he died. I mean, that's what it looked like at first, and real speed. The second note is I was watching Dominique Foxworth speak about, of course, when NFL players are out here trying to fight for these CBA agreements within the contract, when the players are trying to go against the owners, when it comes to guaranteed contracts, when it comes to salary cap percentage, when it comes to all these different things that are trying to pretty much get the best for themselves as a player. So when they leave the game, they're able to take care of themselves and their family. Dominique was just pretty much saying, and I'll keep it as short as possible, is the people that are sad and feels that Tua shouldn't have played and this, that, and the third. The reason why there are games on Thursday night, like Casey said, is because of the revenues, because of Amazon's pushing to be the sponsor for Thursday Night Football. Tua's not going to sit out due to him being promoted for Tua versus Joey Burrow, first time since Alabama and LSU. It's an unfortunate situation that these guys are in when it comes to being NFL players. And like I say all the time, it's a voluntary sport, just like we have voluntary military service and voluntary police service. Nobody is going to feel sorry for you when some of these things happen to you, but also nobody is going to, look at you like you're some type of guy when you score a touchdown. So it's that unfortunate balance that a NFL player has to go through regarding their own player safety itself. And it's a lot easier for us guys that aren't either playing anymore or haven't even played, period, to say, hey, you need to just go ahead and take the night off, guys, right? If an NFL guy take a night off, that might be their last time they even get a chance to even suit up. That's the nature of the beast of this game. So it's pretty easy for us to say, oh, don't worry about your starting gig. You'll get it back next week. Some guys don't get it back next week, right? So it's very fickle because this season, coming into the season, guys, Tua was on the hot seat for being the quarterback for this team, right? Is can Tua take this team to the next level? So do y'all really think Tua was going to, or to not just Tua, but the coaching staff, the organization was really going to say, hey, Tua, you've earned the keys to the Lamborghini. You've done well these last 3 games. You can go ahead and sit out now. Like it just wasn't going to happen. So it's very easy for us to reactively say or emotionally say, hey, you need to look out for yourself. We need to go ahead and do A, B, and C. But in reality, when Tua gets better and when he goes back out there on the field, we're going to forget all about this and we're going to go right back to football. Because on Saturday night, college football, I saw 2 guys get stretched off the football field. And football continued to keep on playing. And that's just the nature of this business. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, maybe almost close to $1 trillion industry. And the wheels are going to keep on spinning and kids are going to want to keep on playing football. But we have to figure out a way to just try to look out for one another as football players to where you're able to be productive as citizens after football. KC?
I mean, you're right. I agree with everything you said. These guys, Tua's on the hot seat, the whole thing, and this is exactly why the NFL has to have the right tools in place to tell him, no, you're done for the day, and I don't think they did at the time. And now we got this new rule. It's going to happen exactly as is pointed out. This is going to be, for better or worse, this is the Tua rule for the rest of time, right? This is the rule that got passed after he went down twice in 4 days. But you have to stop these guys from themselves. I would push back a little bit. Teddy Two Gloves ain't taking this job from Tua. It's not happening. Tua's looked good the first few games. They got him the weapons.
It's
not happening. It's not happening. I called that game-ending interception 10 minutes before it happened. I have receipts. It happened, but the NFL has to have somebody that can step in and save these guys from themselves, because if for no other reason, then this is going to be a problem for them later down the line when these guys are having big problems in life. And we thought maybe we got away from that, but in a situation like this, you're not. This opens a whole new can of worms. So I think that this new rule is a step at least, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's crazy, man.
No, I definitely.
You don't want to see it with anybody. So hopefully that we don't see another one like that.
No, I definitely agree. Let me get to the comment section right quick. Cody says, "Do any of you guys even recall seeing anything like this happen in the past? Like clearly concussed back in the game, and then this happens 3 days later. This seems so bizarre to me. Heads are gonna roll if this ever happens again." I mean, back in the day, if we're being honest, in the 70s and 80s, let's be real, Casey. It was normal. It was
a different thing. It was a different thing, though.
Yeah.
A guy got his bell rung.
Yeah, bell rung. That was
that's
the
not
term.
And times have changed, sure. But no, I will say that, standing down there, and watching this game and watching him go down and in there with his hand, it was
you
tough
usually
to
see that more often in MMA.
Yeah, it was
maybe
tough
boxing,
to see, man.
Maybe boxing,
Yeah.
but football wise, you don't see that too often. But it happens. I've seen it before where a guy is locked up and looks like he's paralyzed or he's in complete loss of his body motor functions. I've seen it before in football, yes, a couple of times, unfortunately. But yeah, on national television, that's the unfortunate situation too. On national television,
for the NFL,
it's just Thursday night football. I mean, all the eyes were on that game, so it was just unfortunate. Cody also says, "I'm 30, in my time I have not." I got you. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with the last comment. Fractional Wellness says, "I think the NFL moves to fully guarantee that would help players from having that urge to go back out there. When they are hurt. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't see that happen for another 10 years. That's just my opinion. I'm just being honest. I'm just
the players are always going to want to go back up there, right? They're gamers.
Yep.
They're beasts. They want to go out and win games.
That's why it's the gladiator sport that it is.
Yeah,
it's the gladiator sport that it is. If you take away the physicality of football, what is it? It's flag football.
Well,
you can't do that.
I mean, they've tried to take away some physicality, right? But
they have. We know that, but it's still a violent game.
Yeah, for sure.
Still violent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's still no matter what you do to the game, it's still gonna be violent. All right, since Ish is back there, taking care of a little business over there, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this game very quickly.
TIT, ANS, Titans, the best.
As you can see, it was like Ish's team, the Titans, went ahead and took care of the Colts in Indy. This was a game that, I'll be completely honest with you, Casey, I had no faith in the Titans winning.
It's been a while. You stopped calling them the Oilers?
See, apparently we earned some little respect now.
Haven't been around for a while,
Ish.
so
I
gotta check. That's the thing. No, I was all over the Titans in this game. You can go check my Facebook page and all that. My best bets. I had the Titans all over the place. I had the money line. I actually paired them up with Seattle in a little parlay. Made some money on that.
Yes, you did.
The Colts are bad. I wasn't taking anything away from that Chiefs loss, right? Chiefs lost that game. Colts didn't win that game. That's how I look at that. Matt Ryan's good for a couple turnovers a game. Titans are still a good enough team. Derrick Henry's still Derrick Henry. And that's all it takes in a game like this. That was my main takeaway with this game. The Colts are good for some turnovers, and Derrick Henry's gonna make them pay. That's all I got.
Ish. I mean, I said everything that I needed to say in that preview show. I told you, I said, I don't really believe in this Colts team just yet. I think that Chiefs game was a win, but I still wanted to see more. It was more of a coin flip game between these two teams. And to me, the Titans just seemed like the team that had a little bit more of the two teams to get a victory. And they look like the team that is on the rise and can actually compete for the AFC South. When you have a guy like Derrick Henry, he's able to help you through some of these bad times because, hey, we can turn around and give him the ball and we can work on the play action. We can work on getting some of the receiving core mistakes down and making sure that the rookie Treylon Burks is able to step in and, start doing a little bit better. So, I mean, for me, the Titans right back where they wanted to be at the beginning of the season, competing for the AFC South.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Fractured Rawness says Frank is done in Indy. Him and John have the hottest hot seats at the moment. I think after the season,
Thursday night. If they lose Thursday night to Denver, like where are we at?
I don't know. Mid-season firing is what you're saying?
I mean, Harbaugh. I will agree that is his seat's getting warm, but right now it's.
John got to go.
It's Frank Reich and it's Matt Rule. Those are the two.
Yeah, Rule. Yeah, Matt Rule.
Matt Rule got to go.
But I mean, if the Colts lose Thursday night, I mean, I get it. They're in Denver. They're underdogs, but the Denver team hasn't looked good. So if they go and get blown out, I could see a world. Like I don't know.
This is a terrible matchup for Thursday night.
Bad.
I'm sorry. This is terrible. Nobody wants to watch this. Okay, and
but millions of people will.
Unfortunately. And I think we need to start making a concerted effort to boycott some of these games so the NFL will start getting better schedules on these primetime games, because some of these teams, they just throw these teams on there because historically people have wanted to watch them, but nobody wants to watch the Colts and the Broncos.
I think preseason they thought this was going to be a good game.
I was going to say the same thing. When you look at the schedule preseason wise,
nope. I can told you that
it's going to be a better game.
I try to tell you when we were doing the preview show about the Broncos and Russell Wilson and why I don't understand people were hyping Russell Wilson up like he was the second coming of Peyton Manning to the Broncos. Look at what he's doing over there. Nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing.
No lies detected.
And that's what I was going to get to as well when it comes to the Colts. Whatever is going on with Matt Ryan, I think, again, if he's not – I see this when it comes to the Colts. They're just going to go ahead and clean up shop after the season's over with. I think Frank Wright finds a way to hold on to his job for the season, and then after the season's over with, Frank Wright's gone.
I was going to get to this.
Matt Ryan's gone. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe they even trade away.
Well, Matt Ryan, we know Matt Ryan's gone, but
maybe they even trade away Joshua Taylor and maybe get something.
Jonathan Taylor? No, they're not trading Jonathan Taylor. No.
That's what I'm saying is you might
good this year.
You might as well start over. I mean, the Colts have nothing. I mean,
let me ask you this.
Maybe just a couple of receivers. Maybe a couple of receivers. But the line is not what it used to be. The line is not what it used to be. Jonathan Taylor, yes, he's there and he's doing what he's doing. He wants to have the rushing crown, but he just can't.
No, I don't buy this.
Past Derrick Henry.
I don't buy this.
I don't even know what's going on with Shaquille Leonard right now. I'm trying to figure out health wise, is he going to be the same Shaquille / Darius Leonard that he was in the past because of coming off of this back injury? I don't know if he is the same guy just yet. I'm worried about him. And when it comes to this defense, especially with Gilmore, I just don't like what I'm seeing. I thought they played well against the Chiefs. And like we talked about, look, it's an NFL, it's two NFL teams. A team sometimes get a team. It is what it is. And they look good against the Chiefs. But overall, the Colts team just do not look good.
Listen with this do not look good thing, okay? You're buying into this narrative that they're trying to sell right now about the Colts, and it's not true. Number one, I got to say this. are we going to give Frank a little bit of credit here with the fact that he's dealing with a done Matt Ryan? Like, does he get a little bit of a leeway that
Okay, I have a question.
Matt
Okay,
Ryan?
I have a question for y'all then. So do you stick with Carson Wentz then? Or do you move on and then go to because that was only two choices.
Well, hold on.
You're making the grocery that you get.
There's gonna be plenty of choices this offseason. Okay, there's gonna be more choices this offseason.
He's not going to get those choices
to get similar quarterback to what the Colts always like to get. They've been doing it since Peyton Manning has left. They're just gonna get some boring dude. Okay, they're gonna bring some boring guy there. Okay, so there are gonna be plenty of Colts options on the market. That's number one. Number two, this defense is the number 6 ranked total defense. They are ranked 13th in points against. So, like, it's not the defense that's horrible. The offense is dead last in points for.
Again,
the offense don't score points. You got Matt Ryan at the helm. So why is everybody looking at the defense and looking at them and saying,
I said that the defense. The defense itself is still it's early in the season. We all know, again, stats are lying. They're not what they're going to be when we look at it in week 14.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, you can
stats they are what they are right now. I don't care what they look like.
Dude,
I'm talking about what I see on the field. I'm talking about what I see on the field.
Jaguars. They played the Jaguars and the Chiefs. They won the Texans. Well, they tied the Texans game.
Yeah, they tied.
They tied the Texans game, right? Which they should have won that game.
And they gave up 20 points to the Texans.
They had to get rid of the kicker after that. And then they lost to the Titans. The Titans are the only game that you can say, like, dude, come on, guys. Really? The Chiefs and the Jaguars are our top team this year. They're a good team, man. Come on.
Okay. It's early in the season. We're talking about it right now. We'll see what happens another month from now. Let's go ahead and move on to another game because we don't need to be on this game all damn show. So let's move on and let's go to, of course, America's team, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. And we'll talk very briefly about Mr. Cooper Rush, aka Mr. Jason Garrett 2.0, because he is just pretty much reliving Jason Garrett's career. Coming up as a backup and coming there and filling in and going undefeated, and now he's, of course, has the most wins in a row as a first-time starter for the Cowboys. And KC, I'll let you take this one.
Turns out, here's the thing: when Cooper Rush was quarterback, this team's doing what they should be doing. They're letting their defense win games. They're running the football.
I mean, it's basic.
They're not taking deep shots. They're not overexerting themselves. This team's letting their defense win games. And they're not asking too much of the quarterback. They're letting their quarterback be an Alex Smith-style game manager. That's all you need. The question is, when Dak Prescott comes back, are they going to keep the same philosophy? And the answer is probably not.
But I have a question.
That's
for you,
the difference. Also, they haven't played a good team. Let's do that too.
But let's be real though. That's what Dak Prescott is to me. Dak Prescott is just a high-profile game
it's not
manager.
What Dak Prescott.
But that's not how they use him. That's not how they use him.
Whose fault is that? I mean, it's Kellen Moore's fault, right?
You ain't just.
Why are you as an offensive coordinator? And we talked about this before the season started. You have a 1-2 punch in the backfield. Use them.
You ain't wrong.
Why are you trying
say it again for the people in the back?
The ball 50 times.
I was gonna say
this is not Boise State, Kellen.
You need to say it again for the
this
people in the back.
This is not Boise State.
You ain't wrong.
I don't understand why we're throwing the ball around the field when we can give the ball to the Power Rangers back here.
Yeah.
And let them work. And then let the defense get sucked in, and then we can give CeeDee Lamb hopefully some opportunities on the outside to be special. Honestly, it's not hard. It's basic football. Now they're doing it because they have to, because they have Cooper Rush. But like KC said, the real question is, will you keep the same philosophy when Dak comes back?
See, but I was about to get to that. I don't want Dak to come back. Keep Cooper Rush out there. Keep Cooper Rush out. No.
All right, Jerry.
I want Cooper Rush to stay out there. I want Cooper Rush to stay out there. I don't want Zach to come back. Dak can stay on the sideline. Hold the clipboard, Dak. You be the most expensive backup in the league. I don't care. Hold the clipboard.
That's not gonna happen.
No, he's beat the what? He beat the Bengals. That offensive line's terrible. That defense won that game, right? Like that's Dallas. That's Micah Parsons. That's how that works. That offensive line still isn't gelling. If you can get in the backfield with Cincinnati, that's how you win that game. They beat the Commanders. The Commanders are trash. They're a bottom 2 team in the league right now. The Giants? Like, are we buying the Giants? Is that a thing? Like,
Yes.
Saquon's good, sure, but
Bro,
are we buying the Giants?
don't disrespect Danny Dimes. Don't disrespect Danny Dimes.
Shut up. Shut up.
No, you did
Disrespect
this.
that
You
boy
did this,
Danny
Casey.
Dimes, man.
I'll give
Danny Dimes.
the only respect I'm giving Danny Dimes is he's got the green dot on his helmet.
Comeback
to
player-
stay out
comeback
there
player
and call
of the
the
year.
plays. No,
Comeback player of the year.
the comeback player of the year lines up behind him. Calm down.
Danny
no,
Wood
not
and
even
Nickel.
close. Danny Penny.
What do you mean that the comeback player is lines up behind him?
Saquon Barkley is the comeback player of the year, and it's not close.
Before it's Daniel
It's
Jones.
not
Stop.
close.
Stop.
Danny Dimes is almost leading the team
Sir.
in rushing.
Cut
Why are
him
y'all
off.
doing this
Cut
to
him off.
Danny
Cut him
Dimes,
off.
man? I'm tired.
He's
of
not
this,
supposed
man.
to lead the team in
I'm
rushing. That's
tired
the
of this
problem.
disrespect, man. Danny Dimes out here leading the team in rushing, leading the team in passing. He's almost second on the team in receptions. Come on now.
That's a problem. Do you not understand how that's not a problem? He's not supposed to be Lamar Jackson for the Giants.
But he is, and he's not getting the respect he deserves.
Lamar
Okay,
Jackson is
so
supposed to be Lamar
that's
Jackson
the
for
one
Ravens.
quality win I will give to the Cowboys. They beat the Giants, man. They got lucky and beat the Giants because that game they really shouldn't have won. But
We
that's
don't know
neither
what the
here nor
hell the
there.
Giants are right now. The NFL.
Well, we don't know if they have a healthy
just
quarterback.
just looking at the landscape of the NFL,
What
it's
number are
very
you looking at?
interesting.
Because he's 300 yards in front of him. What are you talking about?
He just be looking at weird random numbers. He be throwing
What
shit
are you
up
looking
there.
at? Christ.
See, that's
I thought I was crazy and shit. I looked it up.
see that's the problem with social media nowadays. People just be throwing out memes, throwing
Don't
out
do that
random
to
shit,
me.
and just expect you to be like, "Oh yeah, it's on the internet." It's
No, I
real,
fact
it's
checked,
true."
man. I
It's
fact
on
checked.
the- it's
Gotta
on the
fact check
internet. I'll
things.
tell him the truth.
So shout out to KC for making sure that Ish was wrong.
Not about
because
it.
no, Daniel Jones is not leading.
463 to 193. It's not close.
That sounds more legit.
193 yards for Danny Dimes ain't nothing though. That's crazy.
All right, let's get to the comment section right quick. Fracture says a done Matt Ryan, a done Carson Wentz, a done Phillip Rivers. I'll give Frank a pass for this season.
Exactly.
Got to go. Again, Frank also okays the quarterback. So Frank has a say in it as well, too. And his blame as well, too. So let's not act like Frank is just off the hook. Cody Chapman says, this Cooper Rush mess has to stop. Get out of here. If they have Dak but continue to play careful football, they could be real good. I feel I could call a better game.
Dak gonna mess it up.
Squad.
Dak gonna mess it up. All right, y'all wait until Dak comes back.
He also says, sad thing is, they probably will let Pollard walk this off season. That would be
believe it.
Very huge mistake. He also says Ish needs to walk it off, talking crazy over here. Danny Dumps isn't even top 20 QB in the league.
Stop that slander. Stop that slander.
Dumps it down to the running back, I'm assuming.
Man,
Danny
come
Dumps. I
on.
like
One
that.
hand Danny.
Also, Fracture One says one hand Danny, put some
One
respect on
hand
his name.
Danny.
Also, Randy Daniels is tunes in as always. Said just tuned in. What I miss? You missed a little bit, but we appreciate
You missed
you
them
as
talking
always.
down on Danny Dimes,
Right,
but you know
tuning in.
they're gonna learn soon. Soon enough, they're gonna learn.
Whatever. We're gonna go ahead and move on from this topic. It's interesting, I'll say the least.
3-1.
The Cowboys are able to continue to win without Dak, because let's be real, a lot of us thought it was over with. I mean, a lot of us assumed that you need Dak to win these games. It seems as though Dak might be ready and healthy for the Eagles matchup, week 7.
So not the Rams, huh?
That'll be interesting if that happens. Or he should be healthy for the Rams, but he's supposed to be not.
So
playing,
let me ask this question.
That's what Jerry
to
said.
Casey and X, and to those of you that we love tuning in. Okay, you were talking about it. They don't have a quality win. They go out and beat the Rams. Are you giving a little bit more respect to Cooper Rush?
I mean, let's be real too, KC too on that one.
On the road,
I think we're all trying to figure out what's going on with the Rams too.
Yeah,
I mean, are they real?
Problem.
Are they real?
I got really big worries about the Rams.
I'm worried too. Early in the season.
I mean, I didn't want to step on it because we're going to talk some upsets later. But I don't know that I give them a whole lot of credit for it, but I think it's very, very possible. This defense is just good, man. I'm not giving the credit to necessarily the offense and everything, but we just watched what San Francisco did to the Rams, right? Yeah, they got in that backfield. They messed stuff up. Tell me that's not what's happening with it. Micah Parsons ain't back there every play. I think that's what's going to happen. Does that mean dump offs to Cooper Kupp and 200 yards? Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know that I'm buying the Rams as like a really good team. So no, to answer your question, I don't know. I don't feel good about it, so I think the answer is no. But I guess I don't know for sure.
I definitely do not feel good about it, honestly, due to besides them being my back-to-back Super Bowl pick winner for this upcoming season, and right now it looks very stupid. I'm just being completely honest. It's very stupid.
I had him as the 1 seed. I didn't have him win a Super Bowl though.
I don't know if I expected them to play better out the gate, but I guess that's also my stupid self for thinking that, knowing that most of the time, most Super Bowl winners come out looking very flat in the beginning of the season, except for the Patriots. Most teams come out looking a little flat early in the season. They build back what they were in the middle of the season, and they usually get everything back rolling by week 13, 14, 15. That's the hope for the Rams.
Yeah.
Right now,
that's not my hope for them.
Well, if you're a Rams fan and if you're a player like Bobby Wagner that joined the Rams and hope to go to a Super Bowl, again, the talent is there. I mean, the guys are there. It's just the injuries are piling up. For them, for the Chargers,
for the league.
I mean, for the league as well. I mean, to where it could come down to, unfortunately, what it usually comes down to, and that's just the battle of nutrition. I mean, who's going to be the healthiest team at the end of the season that's going to be able to make a run? And if the Rams are not that team, the Rams might not even make it out the first round. I mean, that's what it's looking like right now if the season was to stop. But as always, we'll have to.
All right, let's wait and see.
As always, Fracture One that says, I don't want to call the Rams a one-hit wonder, but they got to mix in other wideout teams. Keenan on Cup.
What they're doing to my man
now, all of the plays get about 6-9 yards a game.
What they doing to my man Robinson is a crime.
Yeah, they gotta figure out something. I don't
almost as high as what Atlanta's doing to Kyle Pitts at the moment.
Oh, don't get me started on Pitts, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but the Falcons are winning games.
And that's the thing. That's what they'll tell you. You don't want to answer no questions about Kyle Pitts because they're winning games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The league is funny because, again, the league is very spread out amongst wins and losses. We've had plenty of upsets in these first 4 weeks. It's very even amongst the league. There's only one undefeated team at the moment, of course, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Cody says Cub just had 14 catches. It's clearly a pass protection issue on the Rams situation, and as well, like we the other team in the NFL left is Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go ahead and speak a little bit about that game. And like Ish spoke about regarding tests for teams, this was definitely a big test for the Eagles playing a resurging Jacksonville Jaguars, I should say. When it comes
Jaguars.
to issues, of course, London Jaguars playing a lot better in the States now than they ever have before. Reminds you a little like 2017 with, of course, the young Jalen Ramsey team, to where this team reminds me of that, but with less ego, more coaching and better coaching experience, and a better quarterback at the helm. Because let's remind everybody, they went to the AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles. So if they can get to if a team can get to a conference championship game with Blake Bortles, I think they can do something. Maybe not this year. I ain't saying this year, but
the conference was different at that time.
You're right. You're right. I'm just saying, look out for the Jacksonville Jaguars because it looks like they are trying to build something a little special over there, and they have the right pieces in place. I'm not saying they can make a run this season. I'm just saying, watch out for them because maybe they can close the gap within this quote unquote rebuilding mode. Instead of it being 3 years, it can maybe be a year and a half.
They're currently the favorite to win the South.
Yeah, they can start winning the AFC. I agree. South. I don't know about competing to win the AFC, but
winning the South is the goal.
Here's the thing, though: winning the division is what's supposed to be every team's goal in the first place. You win the division, you get a whole playoff game, right? If you win the division, why not us, right? If you're Jacksonville, you're coming in there and you have a stout defense, and you have an offense, or you have a mentality on offense that nobody believes in us but us. Why not?
Well, they got a runner back there. When they get Robinson going, it just opens so many things for them, honestly. And like I said, they should have won this game. They started off hot, and I'm not gonna lie. I picked the Jags to upset the Eagles, even though the Eagles are my Super Bowl pick this year. And I was actually really happy at the end of the first half. I was thinking like, oh man, look at me, a genius. I predicted this. I saw the Jags doing what they had to do, and then the second half just came through and just I don't know what happened there, but I was disappointed for my pick, but I was really happy for the Eagles because you know what it showed me for the Eagles? This Eagles team is the real deal, okay? They are a real deal contender. Teams need to be worried. Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Hurts, let me just say this right now. He is progressing. He is growing. He's not quite there yet, but he's definitely getting there. And games like this only help his confidence, only helping his growth, and it will only make the Eagles more formidable later in the season. If they can continue to do what they're doing on the defensive side, the Eagles can definitely scare some people later on in the season.
My problem with the Eagles, right? It's not a problem. They haven't beaten you, but they haven't had a statement win yet, right? Like I thought the Vikings were good, but turns out they're not. Like I was big on the Vikings in the preseason. I'm backing out on that pretty hard right now.
I'm not there yet.
Well,
Justin Jefferson is holding them together.
You're not wrong. I had them as a 2 seed. I had them winning the division. I was very high on the Minnesota Vikings.
Same here.
But other than that, like Jacksonville's coming along, right? They're going to be a good team. They could win that division. I've seen some comments pop up there. If they win that division, they shouldn't be a surprise for anyone in the first round. They should be favored. They'll be at home. They'll play a wild card team in theory, but that's a discussion for a different day. They beat the Lions. Lions, high scoring offense in the NFL. Sure, absolutely. They're still not a great team. Worst defense in the NFL, not a great team, right? So that's how that works. Commanders are terrible, but their schedule, man, if you look at it, there's no reason the Eagles shouldn't be the 1 seed in the NFC. Their schedule is so cake. They should go undefeated until they play the Packers. And then
they even beat the Packers.
They might. I'm not saying the Packers are any great shakes, but like that's the first, I think, tough contest that they have. This Eagles defense is very good. We looked at it a handful of years ago, right? Josh Allen wasn't good. Josh Allen was getting dunked on. He wasn't good. Bills made it terrible to pick. And the next year he came out and just started balling. Like out of nowhere. Was great, right? This is sort of what Hurts is doing here. He knew that the team set up to be able to pick a new quarterback next year. And that's the even scarier part. Is this team's draft picks for next year?
Top 10 pick next year.
They can just build on this. This team could win a Super Bowl and still have a top 10 pick. That's crazy.
Yep.
So that's the thing that gets me. I don't know that I'm big on this team to get through the playoffs, but man, the NFC is not great.
Can I contradict myself real quick and make an argument for this team? Let me just say this: you got to beat the teams that are put in front of you. Okay. Like, it's easy for us to say the record doesn't look great. They haven't played anyone. I know I was just making an argument about teams not playing anyone, but you still have to beat the teams that you come up against.
You can only play the teams on the schedule.
The Eagles are doing just that. And my main thing of why I'm high on the Eagles this year is exactly what you said. This schedule is cake, right? It gives Jalen Hurts all he needs, the time he needs, to just build towards the Super Bowl. Just build to the playoffs. Learn. Do what you need to do. Make the mistakes because they should be in a place where no matter what, they're going to be in the playoffs. And then that will be the time to really step up. And he offers them something. And this is the thing, right? We've seen it with Josh Allen. We've seen it with Patrick Mahomes. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson. The quarterbacks that offer that running aspect bring a little bit more to the table and they cause a little bit more of a headache, especially come playoff time when they have that X factor that just you can't really prepare for how many times they're going to break out the pocket.
It's also not just him though. This defense is stout. It's a very good defense.
Oh yeah,
they've got a three-headed beast in the backfield. They can throw lots of guys out there in the backfield. Plus the fact that Jalen Hurts can run the ball. AJ Brown out there doing work, man. I know X don't want to hear it, but he's doing it.
He's opened it up for Quez Watkins.
He is, and he's opened it up for everybody else. Like this team is built to go places, and the NFC isn't great, man. So, give me a Eagles Niners game, give me an Eagles Packers game. We're gonna see that. Like these are the games I want to see. I'm not trusting this team like huge right now, but they're a top 3 team in the league right now for sure because they got it all put together. This team looks complete, and Howie Roseman knows how to build a team, guys. Ain't no doubt.
For sure.
100%. First things first, the Titans are idiots. Second, AJ Brown.
You ain't wrong. You ain't
No,
telling
I'm so serious.
You ain't telling no lies. You're not telling any lies.
You're not telling lies on that one.
Anyways, one thing I respect when it comes to the Eagles, and they have done this in the past, when they see that they have a championship window, they attack it.
Yeah.
And it seems as though that they saw it within the draft.
I was going to say the additions in the draft, front 7 of the defense.
Within the offseason, with the offseason mix of moves that they've made, I looked at them as they was going to be a contender. I picked them in the offseason to win their division. I said it before, of course, the season started. Like, I'm picking the Eagles. Like, there's no way that I cannot go off the Eagles because of just the talent alone. Watching them play before the season started, I laughed at Ish when it comes to his Super Bowl pick. The Eagles win the Super Bowl this year. But now watching them play and seeing how everything come together, and this is just early in the season, man. I expect them to just do nothing but get better as the season progresses. If barring injury, let's knock wood on that, of course. And if they're able to stay healthy, why not? I mean, the NFC is wide open. At the moment, it looks as though, from my opinion, it looks as though they are the best team in the NFC. And the teams that we kind of assumed that would be there in the NFC, yes, the Packers are probably the second best, but they have plenty of questions. The 49ers have plenty of questions because they are down to their starter/backup, Jimmy G. And if Jimmy G goes down, then it's finally over with. Because, no, the reins was handed to Trey Lance. And now he's gone, and now it's back to Jimmy G. We know where Jimmy G can get them to. Can he actually get them over the hump? But what happens again if he goes down? Then again,
DeMeco Ryans has that defense playing out of their mind.
But they still need another Jimmy G behind Jimmy G to be able to continue.
Well, they can always trade for Theodore if it happens early enough. Theodore can go over there since Casey's hating on Theodore.
So to wrap up, what I'm saying is that shout out to the Eagles for seeing the window and attacking, because there are a lot of scared and pocket grabbing GMs out here that do not want to go out there and go take the risk, like the Rams GM that said F these draft picks, and just like, again, Howie Roseman and
depth would be great for those Rams right now.
Even the GM in Miami, when they say, hey, we're going to go ahead and pay Tyreek Hill his money. The GM for the Jaguars, they were getting laughed at about all the money that they were spending in free agency. Again, if they're able to capitalize on this opportunity, they will have the last laugh, of course. But again, I just want to give a shout out to the Eagles because I definitely don't do that, and I probably will not throughout the season. Hater. But I'm just being realistic. Hey, you gotta give credit where credit is due, and they're doing it. And all of course, shout out to my boy AJ Brown. Respect to my boy. I hope he has a hell of a season and do it in spite of the Titans. I hope he does. Doing it. Cody says, I'm not saying the Eagles aren't good, but I need to see them win at least another test or two. Lions, Jags, Commanders aren't the most impressive. See it. Christine Robichaud says, not really any weak position group on the roster. And, of course, it looks like she's saying fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles have a deep defensive line, which is going to be key in the playoffs. That's from Fracture Walnut. And, of course, our boy Lee says, a little off topic, but they can't they can't disregard the first two rounders and the two second rounders as well next year. Things could get scary.
They're loaded up in draft next year. That's the point.
Yeah.
Even if they don't get there this year, they're going to be scary next year.
Yes, that was very interesting to see how that team rounds out over the next couple of years. Speaking of scary, another game that was previewed to be a scary offensive game. It looks like Ish is disappointed, I'm assuming, in the collapse in the Ravens within that last quarter plus for the Ravens, giving up a 20-point lead. I think this is one of those games where the Ravens are going to look back and just beat themselves up because this was a game they definitely had. Definitely kind of mimicked the Miami Dolphins game that they had just a couple weeks ago. And for all the praise that we try to get, I would say Ish tries to give Lamar Jackson, which he rightfully deserves. This is one of those games where you have to look at Lamar and say, Lamar, the reason why we love you is also the reason why we kind of shake our head from time to time because you let your athleticism put you in positions to where you just shouldn't do certain things. Now, it wasn't all Lamar. Not putting it all on Lamar, not at all. I'm not going to do that. Of course, there were some coaching, decisions that probably, was not well received, maybe in the locker room or even on the sideline. And overall, there are plenty of fingers to point at in this game, probably on the Ravens sideline. But the Ravens have to look at this game as though, look, we might have given it up, but we got to go put this in the back burner and go ahead and move forward because this might be the game that eats at them for the rest of the season. It might not allow them to continue on and prosper and be a dominant force within the AFC.
You know what? I need this Ravens team to put 4 quarters together. Like that is if I'm setting the game plan for these next couple of weeks, my game plan for them is play 4 quarters. Because this team obviously, I don't know where they heard that the rules were just play 2 quarters and then the rest of the time is a scrimmage or whatever they're treating the last 2 quarters as. But I'm tired of it, man. This is another game where my pick looked good in the first half and I was excited. I was like, look, I predicted it. I told X, this team, they got the defense there. They can make the plays. They just kind of turn it off for some reason. And sure enough, what they do? They went ahead and turned it off. Lamar Jackson included. That offense, they turned it off. You didn't even score points in the second half. You didn't score any points. How do you have an offense like that and you didn't score points in the second half? Some people will say, well, the Bills' defense is that great. No, I'm not buying it, okay? That was totally the Ravens, and I don't know what the answer is. That's probably the most frustrating part about this whole thing. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what to do to get them to play a complete game, and I don't know if removing John Harbaugh is the answer because who do you bring in?
God, I hate
That's what I'm saying. What coach do you bring in to replace John Harbaugh? Again, stop. Let's relax with these emotional reactions. Let's talk about getting rid of John Harbaugh.
I get it. Generally, I side with Jim Harbaugh on. I'm an analytics guy. Go for 2, go for it on 4th down, things like that. Guy, you're tied. You can kick a field goal. You're the best kicker in the league. You can take the lead. I get your defense couldn't stop any whatever. But if there's a moment in the game that you got to get your defense together and say, hey, we need a stop. We need a turnover. Y'all did some turnovers. You had that going in the first quarter. Let's do that. Let's get back to that. That's the moment to do it. And this is the moment that I do a little turn on the Harbaugh thing because tie game, you can kick the go-ahead field goal. You got to do it. You got to take the lead. Like I can get with maybe going for 2 to take a lead. I can get with going for it on 4th and short, maybe even deep in your own territory, whatever, because you got a good offense. I get all that, and I will support that. But take the lead. The idea is to take the lead in a football game. You want to lead the game. That's what you want to do. And they opted to not do that. All other things aside, yes, they gave up the lead in the second half. They didn't put up any points, this, that, and the other thing. Ultimately, they had the opportunity to take the lead with a little time left in the game and didn't do it. That all falls on the head coach. I can't get away from that. I just can't.
I'll just make mine very quick. I'll just reiterate or just bring up this comment from Christine. I want us all to answer right quickly and start off with you, Ish. What would you guys have done if it was your choice?
I mean, honestly, you got to kick the field goal. I agree with KC from the standpoint of you got to take the lead. I know why he did it, right? Yep. Because exactly what he feared was going to happen happened. But I'd rather that happen with us in front than for us to still be tied and then have that happen. Like, yes, you knew if you give Josh Allen the ball, he's going to drive down the field methodically, waste the rest of the time in the game, and they're going to somehow, score a touchdown and win the game. But I'd rather put the pressure on them to have to come up with that than to just give them, because at this point, they could have kicked a field goal. You kick the field goal at any point, you just kind of chill out. I mean, it's like, why would you even give them that option? Like, let's not even do that. You could have made it a tougher field goal than what they were able to do. Instead, there's really no pressure because they know they're going to overtime at the worst.
Yeah.
Like, you had to take the points. It's ridiculous to have them do this. He's done it so many times now that did we expect anything else?
KC,
you gotta put the pressure back on the other team, right? Like that's my takeaway. Kick the field goal, get your defense hyped. I get it. Like the turn, you go for it there. You turn it over. Your defense is going out beaten, battered. Like they're downtrodden. We had the chance to be the lead going out there. We don't anymore. Now we got to go out and stop them. Also, get your defense on the same page. Look like half the guys were ready to let them score there. Half the guys were not.
Yeah,
let them score. I get it. No one in the NFL wants to say let them score with a minute 50 left, but goddamn it, let them score with a minute 50 left.
My pride on the line.
Get Lamar Jackson, the league MVP, the ball back with a minute 45 left, and let him go do his thing.
Oh, another thing
that's the thing. Oh, it's so frustrating.
To add to that, if I am going for it on the fourth down and I'm going for the touchdown, Lamar,
run the ball.
I mean, either run the ball or if you're gonna throw it, if you don't throw that thing into the last stand at the very top or something, like why would you just chunk that thing into the end zone randomly? Like you have to teach game, like you have to teach game sense, right? Like that is terrible game IQ right there. You would have failed the Wonderlic on that one because in that situation, the last thing you should do is just chunk it into the end zone for a 50-50 ball. Like that was the part for me where it was like, I don't think that there's enough to say that he was going to get that ball to Duvernay. I know people saw Duvernay open. There's no way he's getting the ball to him.
I will defend him in his only right because it was a fourth down play. So if you are throwing it all the way out,
but they're on the 2-yard line. If I throw it into the stands,
you're
not wrong.
On the 2, you're not wrong on that part. You're not wrong on that part. But in his mind, he feels like he has to win the game at that point.
In his mind, he don't have good game sense.
And you're not wrong.
I'd rather them start from the 2 than the 20-yard line.
Look, you're not wrong on that one. But I'll wrap it up when it comes to I'm old school. I'm taking the points all day, every day. I don't know what it is with some of these old new school head coaches when it comes to Brandon Staley, and sometimes Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan does this from time to time as well. But for the most part, y'all are not converting on these fourth down plays or these extra gadget plays, whatever you're trying to do to try to analytic whatever, because what you're going to do is get yourself out of a job. That's Brandon Staley going to be the first one to end himself up out of a job. But this situation, I'll be honest with you, I don't understand why you even go for. I don't understand. You have the best kicker in the league, literally the best. You just signed a new contract. He literally just signed a new contract. Let him go earn his money. Give him your 3. Put the pressure back on Josh Allen. I don't know why we even have this conversation anymore, for being completely honest. Like this is elementary. This is elementary.
It's Jim's.
This is Madden. Like, I don't even go for it on Madden. I'm kicking the 3. I'll give the ball back to you. I'll play defense.
No, it's not even Madden. The old boy in Denver is the one that's playing on Madden right now.
We'll talk about.
And he's not even playing on all Madden. That fool playing on rookie.
No, dude in Denver needs to get a 14-year-old that plays Madden to do his time management for him.
I don't understand again how they are 2-2, but it's the NFL right now.
I don't either.
Lee says the Bills' last 2 games look kind of rough. Are they as good? Are they as godlike as everyone thought they were before the season?
It's early.
Don't get me wrong, they are elite, but do the troubles worry anyone? Honestly, the only troubles and worries I would worry about the Bills would be their secondary.
And they're going to get better. They're going to get better in the secondary. They're going to get guys back. Trey White's going to come back.
I expect them to be there with the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game once again. That's what I expect both those
2
teams.
weeks we got Chiefs Bills. It's going to be a
I don't think
show.
they're.
I hope so.
I never thought they were godlike, but
those first 2 weeks they kind of look like it. I mean, I know they didn't play anybody good.
Well, y'all know how Lee be when it comes to the Chiefs. Anybody talking down on the Chiefs or anybody trying to put anybody ahead of the Chiefs, he take that as disrespect.
We're the new evil empire. It's fine.
No, we ain't doing that.
We're the Patriots now.
No.
We won one.
Yep,
We're the
Patriots. Yep, we're the Patriots now.
There y'all go. Y'all the Houston Astros.
We're the Yankees.
That won one damn championship. Think y'all won 14 in the last 15
I mean, that's
years.
how everyone has.
But everyone
I don't
hates
think.
them.
I was gonna say we don't think we're that, but everyone else acts like we are.
Wife. Everyone's talking about his brother.
Everybody needs a villain in sports, so that social media makes y'all become that.
I mean, everybody. Other people traded their best wide receiver, and I don't see them talking about them every week. Why we always got to talk about Tyreek Hill and how the Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill? What is going to happen with Tyreek? Like, it's just
because nobody cares about the Titans. That's why.
Okay.
That's true.
I'm just being honest. Nobody wants to hear. Titans lost AJ Brown. Nobody care about the Titans. I'm just keeping it
true. He's got points.
Anywho. Let's go ahead and recap our topics of the week. If I was a betting man, well, unfortunately, since I didn't put any bets this week down, and luckily for me, I didn't lose any money.
I didn't put bets down.
If this was a real bet, I would be 0-3 over the week. Unfortunately, I did say take the under for that over the pond game, the Vikings versus Saints. And at the time, in that third quarter, it was looking good until we started having a offensive firework explosion in that game and ended up, of course, over on 42 there. I did say, of course, take the over for rushing yards for Antonio Gibson at 53.5. And, of course, Antonio Gibson says, I'm going to go ahead and rush for 49 yards. So that's the name of the game when it comes to betting. Don't win them all, but the ones that you do, you cherish. The ones that you don't, you just want to punch,
this is
punch somebody in the face, right?
Because I sure did ask you on this one. Who is this?
Yep, you did. You did. I had said take the over on this one. Craig Reynolds was going to, of course, back up Javon Williams for the Lions, and I was hoping he would get a couple more receptions. Take the over for 2.5. He received one reception. Just one. So 0-3 this week. Hopefully, we do a lot better next week because
can I hop in?
last week
do I
was
get to hop
not-
in?
Of course.
So I got to hop in because we're doing them. We started doing this year on the podcast. So make sure you're out there following us. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok at Another FB Show, posting all of our best bets for the week. And I had my first good week for this. It's the only reason. If it had been any other week, I'd have told you I'll just keep going, just keep it rolling. I had my first good week, and I was all over your Titans. That's the other reason I wanted to do it.
Okay.
I had a Titans Seahawks parlay plus 550. That one hit. I had Titans money line. That one hit. I had a Taysom Hill anytime touchdown. Can I get it? He didn't play.
Did get it.
Mariota didn't, or not Mariota. Jesus. Winston didn't play. They're going to give him plays from the goal line. Let's go. So those three hit. I also had Titans money line and Traylon Burks over 49.5. He got hurt, didn't hit, but would have been nice if it had. That was plus 500. So. I had a good week. It's rare that I have a good week, so I'll brag about it right now.
Now, if you don't mind telling the people out here now, since you're in Iowa, are those legal betting?
Yes, sir. We are legal here in Iowa. I've lost a lot of money this year. No, I'm about even this year. I lie. I'm messing with you. I'm about even this year.
And are you betting on DraftKings, MGM? What are you betting?
I'm on DraftKings.
Do you bet on a mobile device while you're doing this?
Yeah, I'm on DraftKings. Some good promos, some good fun stuff. I came out okay. Had a couple same game parlays this weekend. I think I had a three touchdown in the Chiefs-Bucks game Sunday night. Kelsey, CEH, and Fournette. That one hit. That was about 10-1, so that was nice. That hit out okay. Had a good weekend this weekend. I've had some first couple weeks weren't great, so I won't brag about those, but it's not terrible. Like I said, I was all over your Titans this weekend. It's the only reason I give you a little hard time on it.
No, you're perfectly fine. Unfortunately, the great state of Texas gives us a hard time when
I know
not
it
able to
sucks,
bet.
man.
So one of these days, hopefully, it might switch over. I won't hold my breath.
I'm betting on Sleeper though,
but I'm about to hop on that with Ish said because apparently Sleeper has a little workaround.
Yeah, I'm betting on Sleeper.
Maybe make a little money on there. So I
made a little bit of money this week.
and Sleeper Act Right, we might go ahead and give him a shout out if we plug them in on the show.
All about
also, our other topic, don't be upset, of course, where we picked the upset pick of the week. Now, if you remember on Sunday, Ish and I actually agreed on the upset pick, but I will throw him a bone. Because he did talk about it, and I'll include him on this one. I did speak that the Jaguars would beat the Eagles, even though I did pick the Eagles to win. I said, watch out for this game being a close one. The Jaguars actually didn't even cover the spread in this game, and as well, Ish was wrong on this one. So but when it comes to the Jets, he did speak about watch out for the Jets beating the Steelers. I did laugh at him, but let's speak about not just this game. I'm sorry, not just this upset. Let's actually speak about this game, and let's go ahead and segue into that because we did talk about that in the Sunday preview show regarding would this be the game we see Kenny Pickett? And we did. We got an opportunity to see Kenny Pickett. Now, not the greatest of debuts.
Hey, what did I say when you asked that? I said, yeah, I'm hoping the Jets win so we see Kenny Pickett. And sure enough, Kenny Pickett came in so the Jets could win. Thank you, Kenny Pickett. We accept that. All three of those turnovers were lovely. I was excited. I was a little down, but then you came into the game and you brought me a big smile for the second half. I needed that. Thank you, Kenny Pickett. We look forward to seeing what you do with the rest of your career. How many more three interception games you have? I'm excited for the fans in Pittsburgh because it looks promising there.
Yeah, I love the trolling you're doing right now. But on a serious note, though, this might be the worst situation for Kenny Pickett to get thrust into right now.
You ain't wrong.
And I don't know if anybody is looking at their schedule, his upcoming schedule, but for you to get thrown into
they're going to get murdered the next 4 weeks. You have the Bills coming up in KC. You can go ahead and take the torch from me on that one. Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Eagles. That's terrible. This is the wrong time to bring this kid in. If you're going to bring in Kenny Pickett this week, you give him the first team reps and you bring him in. They'd have beat the Jets if he got the first team reps.
I agree. I agree.
This offense
are bad.
I 100% agree.
They
are bad. No, they are bad, but they should have beat the Jets.
The other problem is this Steelers team is missing the best player on the team with TJ Watt, right? I know it doesn't figure into the Kenny Pickett stuff a lot, but
when you have a better defense,
they've got very good offensive pieces. I think they've got one of the best trios of wide receivers in the league. They have what could be a great running back. The offensive line is trash, which doesn't help. Najee Harris could be very good. I think Kenny Pickett could actually make this team better. The thing is, when they brought in Mitch, I was very high on this team. I bet they're over. I had them being over 500. I thought Mitch was going to be able to move around.
Don't worry,
he was going to run around. I watched Mitchell Trubisky make David Montgomery a good running back with the Bears. He did it. When Mitch didn't play, David was trash. When he did play, he was good. I thought, Najee, he's going to be my guy this year. Okay. They didn't do any of it. Kenny Pickett is at least, in this game, he's moving around. I got some hope on that, but God, guys, Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Eagles. They're going 0-4, and Pittsburgh's going to go, man, maybe we got the wrong guy. And it's terrible. It's not good for the kid because who's going to beat those 4 teams? Those are like 4 good defenses.
Davis Mills 2.0. Davis Mills 2.0 up there in Pittsburgh.
We've watched offenses. We've watched quarterbacks come into this league, get thrusted in the wrong situation, and all of a sudden just not.
It messes up their confidence.
Never get a chance again.
Yes.
And here we are. This is where we're going to be at with Kenny Pickett. I hope that they can stick it out because the schedule gets a little easier after that. They've got a Saints, they've got a Colts, they got the Falcons, they got the Panthers. I think he can get some wins under his belt and that he's going to be okay.
The Saints are not an easier game.
Every week for the next 16 weeks, you're going to have maybe Jameis is going to play, maybe Michael Thomas is going to play, maybe Alvin Kamara is going to play. I get that defense can get pressure with just the front 4, which is a big deal in this league. Not a lot of teams can do that. But I think they could beat the Saints. I think that it'll at least be a good game. But
you're giving them too much credit. They shouldn't have even beat the Bengals in week 1. This team shouldn't have a win under their belt. That's the number one thing. Okay,
I don't
then
disagree. They shouldn't
you
have
got
beat
Kenny-
they shouldn't have beat the Bills week 1 last year, but they did. Like it's what they do.
But it's about to get worse because, like you just mentioned, with this murder's row of 4 games they got with Kenny Pickett, who I guess he's going to be the starter now.
Yeah,
His confidence is going to be shot.
Now, can I say something to you on that, Ish?
I don't disagree.
Then we're going to find out the coaching of Mike Tomlin and the crew.
Yeah.
Because this is now on
No,
them.
I don't think it has anything to do with Mike Tomlin.
It has everything to do with, just like we're looking at Bill Belichick, when it comes to what type of plan are you going to put in there to help out this rookie quarterback so he does not get demolished and his confidence is shot. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers is not a team that we look at when it comes to destroying quarterbacks, right? Let's be real. They've been a lucky franchise when it comes to having some pretty damn good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but they've had an offensive line.
You're correct.
Historically had an offensive line.
What does that mean? Just like what Casey said when it comes to moving the pocket around, letting KC, letting Mitch move around. That's what you should have done in the first place. I don't know what they were doing, but Kenny Pickett is mobile enough to where they can utilize the bootlegs. They can utilize and find a way to move the pocket to work to Kenny's athleticism.
Can I say something about that, though?
Of course. Yes, sir.
You have to have some sort of run game to make the rest of that stuff that you're talking about viable. So if you don't have the run game to partner with that, what do you think these teams are game planning for? They're game planning for you to move the pocket. Come on.
Can I counter to that? So that's why we have passing plays that are an extension of the run games. That's why we have the screens. That's why we have these shuffle passes, anything that you need to be able to get the ball.
So are they running screens the entire game?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, again, that's the game plan that you
have to have. How many teams in the league have a better core of 3 receivers than the Pittsburgh Steelers right now? Like, really?
Not very many. Not very many.
And I think
get them the ball so they can do something.
And if they can get him moving around in the pocket, making time and making some throws, I think this offense can at least make some things happen. I don't know that it means they win games. I don't know that but I think he can look okay. And maybe it doesn't shake his confidence as much. That's the only thing that I think with this. Is a thing. I mean, this team ran no play action last year because Ben couldn't do it, right? Mm-hmm. And I really thought that was going to change with Mitch. I really did, and it never did. And then all of a sudden, Kenny goes in and he's running touchdowns. I don't know what game plan changed or how it changed, what happened, but they're running the ball with the quarterback, and if they can do that and give him a first team reps and all of that, they might be able to win some games and maybe not shake his confidence. They're not beating any of these teams in the next 4 weeks. That's just not happening, and that's a problem. I think you leave Mitch in. When Tomlin came out and said he wasn't playing this year, I was down with it. I was down with it. Maybe Tampa Bay is a questionable, weird situation. That's fair, but I'm always in. I've been down since. Who are the last 2 quarterbacks that sat an entire first season and came out and were good? You know who they were? Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Let's go.
Yep. Chad Henne.
Well, it didn't work out so much. Henne given Sunday, man.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know. Like I'm not down on him as much as some other people are, but this is not the time. This is not the time to bring him in. Mitch should be starting the next few games. Get him through this tough schedule.
Mitch supposed to go in there and earn his contract and get beat up for a little bit. His
contract ain't nothing.
What I'm saying is that he came.
They can cut Mitch. It's a backup quarterback contract.
You're not wrong. But he came to Pittsburgh to try to earn that QB1 position. He earned it. He got it. And within 3 games, don't get me wrong, he deserves to get pulled. I got it.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. You are not wrong at all.
But because of the way the schedule is coming up,
why do y'all say
I would rather Mitch lose his confidence. I would rather Mitch lose his confidence, cut him, and still have
I don't know if that's a game plan.
He played okay. Like everybody's saying, he played terribly. He played okay. He played as I would expect Mitchell Trubisky to play. He played like a game manager who's on a bad team. Like, I don't understand
I
who
expect them to
thought
play
that.
better. That's
Like, the two of y'all
let him get
obviously
mobile.
expected more. Y'all expected more of the Steelers team, and that's why y'all are trying to make this argument that he played horribly, but he played okay. I knew that the Steelers were not going to be that great, and so
cool.
what I
But they should
saw
have
was
beat a
kind of what
really
I
terrible
expected.
Patriots team and a really terrible Jets team.
Well, I
You
thought they
couldn't
were
do
going to beat the
either.
Patriots, and they obviously shit the bed
They
on that
did
one.
not.
So.
They didn't let him get mobile, and I don't know if that's a team thing or if it's a Mitch thing, but ultimately it didn't work. That's my problem with it, and I think he's much better than he's shown. And I
agree.
hate to say it out loud.
We'll circle back on that in another couple more weeks, and we'll figure out who's really.
Oh, he's
real.
not starting the NFL again. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen. All right, Sunday Night Football. Of course, we can't get up out of here tonight without talking about the Chiefs and what. The shirt speaks for itself. I know, of course, that's Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin's, of course, favorites or most famous saying, of course, Austin 316. But Chiefs came into Tampa Bay and apparently
messing around.
Hurricane Irma wasn't the only thing that was coming through Florida and disrespecting people's property, because Kansas City Chiefs came into Raymond James Stadium and took people's shame like Debo. This is not the first time. You're correct. But I'll lead this to you guys, since you guys are the chief aficionados. Was this a statement win for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. It's early.
See, I'm happy y'all disagreeing because I want to hear from both sides. What's up?
It's early, but all we've heard for the last few weeks is what? Tampa Bay, best defense in the NFL, this, that, the other thing. And they came out and sort of slapped him in the mouth. This game wasn't as close as the final score would even indicate, but there are a lot of turnovers, a lot of short fields, a lot of things like that. But I think the Chiefs did some things here that we haven't seen them do yet. We got a run game going. That's important. CEH got going. That's important. After a couple weeks, Travis Kelce's maybe been a little suspect, hasn't got going. I don't know. It's on him. It's on game plan. It's on how it works out. Whatever. But he got rolling. All these things are super important for me, for seeing this team to get going, because this is we need all hands on deck team now to win some games, right? Like, they don't have the big, like, Tyreek Hill's going to have his 200-yard game, and that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to need to see multiple players step up for the Chiefs to win a game like this. But the major takeaway from this game is the Kansas City Chiefs defense. We have not seen, I mean, Ish, you correct me if I'm wrong, I have not seen a Chiefs defense play this well in a long time. They've been stopping the run game. We saw them sort of shut down Jonathan Taylor. The run game in Tampa Bay has been a little suspect, sure, but they're playing as a top few team defensively. I was a little hesitant to buy it, and Tom Brady got his right. Low garbage time. That's how it works. But to see this team stopping the run game, to me, is huge,
big time.
And and I know it's different. Maybe to see them stop a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen is a totally different thing than stopping an actual run game. But it gives me hope that maybe that's something that they can do here. So I think it is a bit of a statement game. I think a lot of people talking about sports were down on them after losing that Colts game last week, and as well they probably should have been a little bit. They didn't necessarily lose the Colts. I don't think the Colts won that game. I think the Chiefs lost that game, but I'm big on this Chiefs win this week. I really did not expect it to go the way that it did, and happy to see it happen.
So I'm going to just go out and say it was not a statement game. All right. To me, a statement game is a game that announces you to the league. A statement game is a game that says, hey, we are the contenders for whatever that team is supposed to be a contender for, whether it be for their division, for the conference, for the Super Bowl, all that. Great. I don't feel like this game was that, because I feel like anyone who knows their stuff, anyone who knows this team, knows that this team has been capable of this and that they should have been doing this all along on offense. I came out before the game. I said, hey, all the stuff that they've been doing where they've been trying to prove that they can do this without Tyreek Hill, and they're trying to outthink the other team instead of just letting it go. I said, hey, we need to see them let it go on offense. And I think we started to see that a little bit more. We started to see a more free-flowing offense. We started to see the play calling just kind of more back to what they used to be before. I feel like they started trying to prove a point to the league and everybody else that was saying like, oh, the Chiefs aren't going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to do that. And then it seemed like Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy decided they wanted to start calling the offense to where it was like, okay, well, y'all want to drop back in the shell. We're going to do this. And they were just overthinking everything, right? To me, this was a morale boost for the fans because we finally got to see, like Casey said, we finally got to see some of these pieces that we've been asking for. CEH in the run game, we finally got to see that get going. We finally got to see Kelsey have a game that we are expect him to have. We finally got to see, I mean, this defense has been playing well, and to see them continually put it together and to see them do it against a team like the Buccaneers, this is what we're asking for. This is what we're holding you to. I know last year it was a big deal about people coming out and saying like, oh, this fan base is so toxic. Like, no, the fan base isn't toxic. The fan base, they hold you to an expectation. And I feel like there are those fair weather fans that they saw them win the Super Bowl. And so they're like, oh, well, you got to win the Super Bowl. And as soon as the team loses the game, they get down on the team. But for the people who understand the game, who understand what this team makeup is, I think we just expect to see certain things in a game, whether they win or lose. Like the Indianapolis game, I came right after that game. I said, it's not a big deal to me. I saw things that I liked from the team, and I don't think the team's going to go undefeated. So I think there are things that this team showed in this game that I like, but it's not a statement to me just yet because I want them to play like this against Buffalo. To me, Buffalo is the statement win. If you go out and do what you did in this game against Buffalo, I think that puts all the talk to rest. Everybody can shut up about, oh, Tyreek Hill this, or everybody can shut up about, oh, the league figured out Kansas City. And then it puts the league on notice and everyone on notice like, hey, this again is the team that everybody thought we were. We are that evil empire because I think for the past couple of years, we've been the evil empire. Everybody loves the Chiefs for some reason. Yeah. They talk about Patrick Mahomes' contract. They talk about Patrick Mahomes, he's playing around. I saw Skip Bayless saying like, oh, Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be able to keep up this level of play with the sloppy footwork and all this other, the sidearms and stuff like that. Like everybody has something to say about the Chiefs right now. And I think if we go out and we play like this against the Bills, then I want to hear it. It's going to amp up even more because people are going to be scared at what the Chiefs can do.
See, that's where you messed up. You listen to Skip Bayless.
Oh, you're wrong.
I mean, I'm not listening to him, but it's just an example of people that keep like just saying things about the Chiefs. And it's like we're not even an undefeated team. Like instead of you focusing on some of these other teams, still people are like fascinated. They're obsessed with the Chiefs and talking about the Chiefs.
Y'all the evil empire, remember?
We are. I think we are. We are what the Yankees are to baseball, and I think that people just don't want them to win.
I said it on my podcast last week.
I'll say it's a mix between Tom Brady by himself and then y'all behind him.
Nah, Tampa Tom's fun though. That's
he is, but there's people that still. I mean, there's people that in the New England area that don't like him anymore. Man.
Tampa Tom's like a show.
A lot of them New England fans still embrace him.
Yeah, Tampa Tom's a show, man.
You're right. I'm just
look. He's got the divorce going on now and everything. It's a show down there in Tampa.
Figure that out. One thing I will say about this game, y'all disagree about it being a statement game. But I will say it might have been a coming out party for a running back named Isaiah Pachenko. Where y'all been?
We already knew about him.
I mean, the rest of the NFL didn't. So what's up with this guy? I want to just hear a couple seconds on him.
Well, I mean, if you followed him in training camp, like he got the job, he was returning kicks. They did what they could to keep him on the roster. Maybe bend some things and make it work. And that's how the NFL works now, right? There's most teams, extra teams, one of the, exception that proves the rule, right? That most teams don't have that just one guy that does all the work. and Kansas City's no exception. Like
What's interesting is he's getting touches in front of McKinnon, which McKinnon had a great, back end of the season, and when he re-signed, I think he thought he was going to have more.
McKinnon led, it was like week 2, whatever. Like, but,
Yeah.
but that was Pachenko fumbled the ball. Like, that's what it takes. He fumbled. He was sat down the rest of the game. Is he going to be like the guy? No. And it looks like CEH is going to be catching balls. CEH had that elusive stat line, 2 weeks ago now? 7 rushes, 0 yards, and a touchdown. That's crazy. But I think that's what we're seeing in the NFL more now is a multi-headed, backfield, and that's how you get it done. Keep guys fresh. In the fourth quarter, Pachenko is able to make some run when CEH is tired or guys are tired. I have no problem with it if they can get a run game going, which this is the first game that we really saw it get going, so I'm still a little skeptical on it. But if they can get it going, let's go.
I say screw this Mahomes guy and put McKinnon at quarterback. I want to see more of the 3 running backs.
Let's run some
3 running backs in the backfield. Screw this Mahomes guy.
Here we go.
Giant style. Let's get some running. Let's get some Wildcat.
Here we go, Saquon and them. Okay, let's just be happy that y'all have a decent quarterback, unlike the New York Giants, where you don't have to worry about situations like
or the Tennessee Titans.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that another week. No, it's not. That's not the reason at all. We love us some KC. If anything, I would love you to be on every week. But again, I don't want to wear out your welcome. We are done for tonight. As always, we went over the limit, but we had a very special guest on the show.
I'll take the blame.
No, you will take the blame because
I'll take the blame
in a good way. We want to go over the time because we got to make sure that you tell the people what they need to hear because you know what you're talking about, and as always, you got to promote not just your show but also your beer as well. So please let the people know where to find you,
guys. Just another football show. We're available, anywhere you get your podcast for twice a week. This week's episodes coming out next week. We're actually doing a top 5 and a bottom 5. We do that every going into week 5, into week 10, and into week 15. So we're going to tell you who the top and bottom 5 teams in the league are. Little arguments going on there in the show. It's fun. We're doing all kinds of things there. We're stretching out to other platforms this year. Like I said, we're on Instagram and on TikTok at Just Another FB Show. We're giving you our best bets. We're doing a little year-long competition as a show between the 3 of us. See who can make the most money or the most units, I suppose. TikTok gets a little iffy when you say money. So you say units and everything's fine to go. We've been doing that. That's been a fun few weeks. I've been down, but won this week. Everywhere else that you get in the podcast, like I said, give us a download. Join the Facebook group. We're out there on Facebook, just on the football show. Fun conversation in there. Lots of fun. Anytime anything pops up, we have some good conversations about it. It's fun. Always appreciate coming on, hanging out with you guys. It's fun. Talking football is fun, guys.
It's fun.
It is. It's
fun. That's what football is about. And of course, as always, we appreciate you, KC. We will see y'all on Sunday, or of course, our preview show at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 Eastern, and as well to wrap up week 5 of the NFL slate on Tuesday here as well at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time and 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Thank y'all once again for joining us. We will see y'all on Sunday.